It was the beginning of the World Wide Web. 2006, we got a RFQ from a very big company in USA. That one visit changed my perspective because I couldn't even quote a single component. That's where I came to know what we are and what the world was looking for.
Narrate your first export order.
All the 18 tons was found rusted, and they sent us pictures. We were in bad shape. That's when my father said, enough of this export. 8 years we were running in losses. Can you imagine? Overnight we sent back all the patterns of a domestic customer, and I never visited until 2014 to US again. And by that time we were totally different.
Before we dive into today's episode, here is a cutting-edge new technology that foundries are using to gain customers and deliver much faster. In today's day and age of speed, if you're still using wooden or aluminium patterns, and worse still, billing your customers for it, then Pattern Forge by Deltasys e-forming will probably open your eyes. So what's so special about it? Pattern Forge is a fully automatic pattern making machine that delivers precision made patterns at a fraction of the time and cost compared to wooden or aluminium patterns. We are talking about 80% faster production, 60% less material wastage, and about half the cost. And the best part is, no matter what molding process you are using, whether it is green sand like high pressure lines, Joule squeeze lines, or hand molding, or if it is no-bake lines like Alpha Set, Furon based, or even CO2 lines, Pattern Forge works for all of those processes. You can reach out to Mr. Virendra Kadam below, who has been perfecting the technology over the last 8 years and who has finally achieved it. You can also click on a link below to watch a video of how Pattern Forge can help your foundry gain a competitive edge. And trust me, this is something that every foundry professional should check out in person. And now let's get back to the episode. Today we're sitting here with RAM MALLYA, who I've known for about 6 years. Finally, he's given us a chance to interview him. And he's an exceptional entrepreneur. He's gone from 100% domestic to 100% exports today. So we're going to find out why from him. And also, I think your favorite word is data.
Yes.
Right? Data, IoT, Industry 4.0, all those buzzwords is something he's actually implementing in his foundry, which he's here to talk about with us today. Right? And he's also willing to share. So that's a good thing. Not many foundrymen are willing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ayan, for this opportunity.
Thank you for inviting us here.
Taking your time.
It's actually a real pleasure to be able to. Actually, not a lot of foundry people agree to share openly. So I'm really happy that you did this.
Yes.
You and Anand, especially. Two leaders.
It's our real life journey and our career. How we have gone through it.
Correct.
That's all we'd like to share. That's
correct.
All. Yeah.
So that's great. So, walk us through Allied Founders' background, because I think this company was started in 1968, right? And you joined about 2001, 2002, that area. So what was Allied Founders? How was it started? And give us a little bit backstory.
See, my father was working in Premier Automobiles way back in the 60s. Mumbai.
Okay.
And he was working there for almost 3 years. And then he had to quit his job when my grandfather passed away. And he had to come back to Belgaum to take care of the family. So that's when he came back and he joined a local dealership called Green Line Motors. That's where he was working and as a supervisor, dealing with the day-to-day cars again. And then after he started this foundry in 1968. I joined the company basically in the year 2000, and until 2004 I was not so serious.
Right.
And 2005 I started doing marketing for the company, and that's when I did my first website.
Okay.
When few people knew.
But even I have a follow-up question.
Yeah.
When you joined the foundry in 2001, 2002, like were you interested in getting into the foundry industry during your diploma?
Yes, I did my diploma mechanical engineering, and immediately after that I joined the company because I had no interest studying further, because completing a diploma was itself a great task for me.
Correct.
So I did that, and of course I was interested in this business because being a mechanical background, I loved mechanical engineering, and of course I also got into metallurgy and stuff, because
Correct.
the first 4 years I spent almost like 2 years in foundry and 2 years in machine shop, knowing the business well,
Right.
knowing all the technicality out of it. And in 2005, I started focusing on marketing.
Correct.
And
Correct.
the as you know, it was the beginning of the World Wide Web
The
at
internet.
that time, the
Right.
internet, and that's where I found the right space to launch our website and the marketing.
Correct.
What do you call marketing tool?
So what drove you to? I mean, I think you were always after technology and data
Yes,
even at that time,
yes.
because to think about having their own website in
Yes.
2005
Yeah.
was a big step in
Yes.
itself.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? Did you have to there was no Google at that time,
No
right?
Google.
How did you
Google was
find-
there, but not so popular.
Right.
And there were a few website designers in Mumbai. There was nobody locally, and we had to find them. And we called them here, discussed with them. We designed a small page.
It was a
It
consultancy
was,
at that time.
yeah, it was a big task,
Right.
and it was a big deal back then. So
Right.
we did that, and that's how we started getting
Right.
inquiries through our website.
So that landed
Yeah.
to your first inquiry. You
Yes,
told me, right?
yes, that was our first inquiry. We got somewhere at the end of, because it takes time when you develop a
Correct.
website, and the crawler will crawl and find you, and then you have been found by the customers
Yeah.
and all that.
I mean,
So
today
yeah.
it's not that easy to get found even by having a website.
Yes, yes.
So I think you were a first mover 20 years back in the industry.
So
Right.
that's when 2006 we got a RFQ from a very big company in USA,
Right.
and the company had online portal system for downloading all the drawings and offering your quote. It was something new
Right.
at that time, and
So
all big companies do that right
they
now.
reached out to you.
They reached out to me
Okay.
through the website.
Right.
And we filled in all the data, the RFQs and everything, and they later invited us to USA, and that was my first, visit to the anywhere outside India.
Right.
That
And
was
you
my
were not
first
doing
visit.
any exports back
No,
until
not
that
at all,
period.
not at all.
Okay, so your company had been 40 years in business roughly, and still no single export.
Not
at
a
that
single
period.
export
Okay.
back then. So we were invited, and we went there, and that's when it was eye opener for us, because we being into foundry business for so long, and being a old foundry in Belgaum, we had a different perspective in our minds, saying that we are a old foundry, we have everything. But that's when I realized we are nothing, because I couldn't even quote a single component. I
Right.
could quote, but we were not selected because of our capabilities way back then.
Right.
Because we had everything unconventional. I mean, conventional.
Right.
Not there was no modern melting facility. There was no modern machining
Yeah,
facility.
you were using a cupola. I
Yeah.
think you told me, right?
So
Right.
the 4 years initially when I worked, I did not like the way things were. In the foundry or in the machine shop,
Right.
it was very crude way of doing things. And it was not well accepted in the Western world,
Correct.
even way back then. So
Correct.
that's what triggered everything. And I asked my dad whether we could go, whether shall I go to the presentation. It was a supplier presentation, and there were more than 300 companies,
300 suppliers.
300 companies and suppliers who were invited, of different products, for cast iron, aluminum, rubber parts, plastic parts, because
everything.
that was a company building huge engines. So
Right.
engines require a lot of vendors. So more than 300 vendors were there, and around 60 to 80 countries participated in that supplier presentation, and that was a big eye opener for us, for me basically. And that's where I came to know what we are and what the world was looking for.
So, what are some key takeaways that you maybe realized at that visit?
So we went there, and we could understand what the quality requirements were. what the a surface finish of casting that they were expecting, and what is the type of reporting they were expecting from us.
Okay, I think that would have been the main one.
That was very very challenging at that time for us, because we were not organized. We must have had our ISO certification done somewhere in the year 2000 2001, but it was in a initial stage,
Right.
So the documentation part, the process design, everything was not very established at that point of time. So that made me change my mind. I came back and had to do a lot of work. Changing the infrastructure was no big deal, but changing the the mindset of our people was the biggest task.
Right.
I had to go through.
Because how did you convince your dad that you would have to make all these changes and everything? Was he as free as you?
He was pretty open and he allowed me everything. He did not get in my way and whatever I was trying to do at that time. That was the biggest plus point. He did not, there are a few older generations who do not allow their next generation to run the business the way they want.
So he trusted you completely.
He trusted. Initially, there was some doubts he had, but once I was very stubborn. I wanted a induction furnace. I wanted a CNC machine, and without any new customer, as you asked in your earlier Anand, chicken or the egg.
Right.
So I would say chicken first, because you need to have these equipments to present yourself, and then you would get some orders based on the equipment that you have. And that's what we did. We went in for ordering some of the expensive machines which were not affordable then, like the CNC turning and a VMC, which was around total value then was around 60 to 70 lakh.
Yeah.
Only the basic machine.
Today, even after inflation and everything, it's still like 1/3 of that price.
So there was not much of competition, and the VMC, CNC machines were pretty expensive at that time.
Correct.
And we invested in those machines, and that was because of my demand to my dad, saying that I need these machines or else I'm not working in this company anymore.
Right.
So we installed the induction furnace. We had these 2 CNC machines, and then we started doing a little bit of more marketing in our website. And
so during this period, what was your main driver or ambition at this period? Like, why were you doing all these changes and everything? Like,
because
what did you try to accomplish?
I saw what the world demand was. That one visit changed my perspective, the way I look at the market, because I was not looking at domestic market at all.
Correct.
Because that is what changed, and I thought I am doing 0%, and I never visited until 2014 to US again.
Okay.
And by that time we were totally different.
So you
I will tell you later about it.
Next time I see you, I'm going to be different.
Yeah. So 2006 was my first visit.
Right.
And that's when we started changing, and we came back, and I had already installed the induction furnace, and once I was back, I also went in for 2 CNC machines. That was 1 VMC, one turning center, and we had no jobs for those machines. They were almost idle for more than 6 to 8 months of the first year, which was very difficult to manage, because you had your EMIs running, and we had no clue how to get a load on those machines. But slowly things started changing, because of the website. We started getting inquiries, and there were some customers who came to our door, and they saw the machines and they believed in our story and started giving us opportunities at that point of time.
Okay. So now narrate your first export order, because I think around this time is when you actually
the first export order, we got it in the year 2006. 2005 we started our website. 2006 we got the first order for the simplest component I could ever make.
And this was to South Africa?
To South Africa. And that was a simple deadweight.
Okay.
which was used in a theater to change the backdrop as a counterweight.
Okay.
So that is the simplest thing I could export at that
Right.
point, because as I told you, our infrastructure was no good for any kind of engineering export. This was, you can call it a hardware, simple dead
Correct.
weight.
Correct.
And there was a requirement of almost 2 containers at that point.
2 containers, that was
Two
your first
containers,
order.
excuse me.
Okay.
So 2 containers, and there's one gentleman called Richard Moore who sent me an email. He found me on the website because of a website, and he sent me an email, and this is what we are looking for. He sent us a drawing, and I immediately downloaded, did my math, I did the costing and everything. That was
Correct.
the first component that I totally worked on, because rest all components were, you know, done by my, they acquired, the customers as well as the components were acquired by my father and my brother
Correct.
in business. So
Right.
I did nothing until 2005.
So this was your like actual first customer.
First customer and the first
Right.
component that I worked personally on, and I quoted it myself, and we immediately I got a response saying that, are you okay with the price? You can still add a little bit more if you want.
He asked you.
He asked me.
He asked you.
That was very much exciting.
Is he going to be
you know.
listening?
Yeah?
Is he going to be listening?
Maybe. Let's see.
That was
So
nice. So it
he
must
said,
have been
you
given you a
might
boost.
add a little bit. I said I was quite comfortable. I was being very fair, because whatever I had quoted was very comfortable price for me,
Right.
and he agreed. And
That was very nice.
yeah, very nice of him. And he placed an order immediately on us. And the best part was he paid full 6 months in advance.
6 months in advance.
Because he wanted that component.
This sounds like almost like a dream, you know.
Dream
First
at that
export
point.
order,
Yeah, of course.
2 containers.
But the only thing was, it was a one-time order.
Okay.
That was the
Okay.
most, challenging part. Once the next order was, you never know when you are going to.
Correct.
So that was a one-time order, but he paid it in advance.
And I'm sure this order also gave you an opportunity to understand your documentation,
Yes,
your packing,
yes.
all those types of things.
So
as well.
we gradually moved from a dead weight to whatever we are doing today.
Correct.
So that was the best part. I did
Correct.
not get highly engineered component right in the beginning, where there are chances of failure is even more.
Correct.
So that was one of the,
That would have been fatal actually.
yeah, of course.
Right.
So that's a very good learning curve, where we started with the basics, learned all the documentation part of exports, went through it, whole the cycle completed, and then again we moved on, and then we started getting some engineering component inquiries, like
Correct.
simple hubs,
And these are also all from your website.
all from the website.
Everything automatically,
from,
completely
yes,
organic.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is coming from the website. I did not visit any of the countries after 2006 until 2014
Right.
again, for business. So in this meantime, I was getting everything from the website, and I got another RFQ from a French company, and there was a RFQ of 12 components that we developed.
Okay.
And we did really work hard for that, and there were 12 patents which were developed, and they did not pay us a penny
For
initially
development.
for the development, and we had to develop the patents, prove the samples, and then they said we prove the components and then we would pay for it. So initially we did that, and we invested in all the patents, all the tooling, developed all the samples, shipped them by air. Everything was approved, and one fine day we had to fill the whole container and ship it around 15 to 18 tons in one container. That was the first container load, which we stuffed in our factory. That was factory stuffing. That's the first time we came
Correct.
across.
Right.
So that's what we did, and we shipped the components. There was one condition to that the components were not supposed to be oiled, and they were all over machine, and they were asked us to use some kind of water-based solution.
Correct.
And we were supposed to pack it and ship it to them. So we shipped it, and after 2 months or 45 days, whatever time, we got to know that all the components were rusted.
All the components.
All the components.
18 tons.
All the 18 tons was found rusted, and they sent us pictures. We were in bad shape. We didn't know what to do at that point of time.
Yeah.
So finally we could negotiate and get them cleaned at their place, and they heavily fined us for that, and finally closed that cycle by accepting all the debits that they could do, around 3,000 or 4,000. I don't remember the number anymore.
Correct.
So it was a big blow at that time.
This was in 2008.
2008.
Also, market crash at the
Yes,
same time.
yes.
So this would have been a big problem.
Yeah. So
Right.
that was a very big blow at that point of time, because we had invested a lot in that, and that was the only hope for the new machines that I had invested. There was no other component that was fitting on those machines. So that was one more thing. And finally they did not buy any further from us. Maybe they were doing just trials on those components, and they
Correct.
did not want it. I don't know what happened later.
Right.
But they debited us, they cleaned it, and they've used it, but afterwards we did not see any orders from them.
Correct.
So that was one experience.
I think this is a sharp lesson for anyone
Yes.
going into exports. I
Yes.
think you need to burn your hands a little bit, but
Yes.
not to such a big amount.
So that's when my father said, it's enough of this export, and now get back to what we were doing earlier, because
Correct.
you have already burnt yourself
Correct.
enough. So so I took a break for at least 6 months. I did not look at any more export orders, but finally something I was not
You were
comfortable. Stubborn. So something again
Right.
happened, and we came across another American customer
Correct.
who again found us.
So this was
because
your
of
like a third trial.
Third trial, yeah.
Right.
They found us, and this was a German customer, and all the components were highly engineered components, like
Okay.
a cylinder head of a reciprocating pump, which has to be tested at 160 bar pressure,
Okay.
and that was a very high engineered ductile iron component, fully machined. I had to develop a fixture on my VMC, and actually it should be a HMC job, but we did not have HMC back then.
Correct.
So we developed it on using a VMC, multiple fixtures, and got it approved. They sent us castings from Germany, raw castings. We had to machine them, prove the machining, send the machined components. Then they placed an order on patents, and then we sent our own components. Then they were convinced. You know how difficult it is to convince a European customer.
Correct.
So that's how it trained us like anything. Germans did all the training initially
Correct.
for the
Complying with their terms and
engineering
quality.
components.
Right.
So initial order, I was trained for a commercial part, and the Germans trained us for all the technical
side.
parts.
Correct.
They showed us how to make reports, how to make a balloon drawing. So many things we learned in that process. So that's where we did our first engineering export, and
Right.
we were successful at that point of time. But
This was what year?
This was, I think, 2009,
2009.
9 and 10.
Right.
So between that time. But the problem was these volumes were pretty low. They're not even 2% of our total sales.
Correct.
But we could establish ourselves in the technical requirements of export engineering export
Correct.
components.
Correct.
So that was important. That's what we learned. So we completed the cycles of commercial learning and the technical learning
Correct.
at this point of.
So now I want to basically go on to this American customer that
Yeah.
I think visited you or something like
Yeah,
that and dared you.
they also found us. That is another story. They were looking for family owned companies, foundries in India, to source cast iron components for their pump and valve industry.
Okay.
And they had given this project to a university students, a group of students who found us through our website, made a presentation of our company, and handed over the package to the customer, and that's how they found us in USA.
Okay.
And then he approached me saying that we found you through this program, and we would like to know your capabilities, and we'd like to visit you. We invited them, visited us, and at that point we had induction furnace, but fully machine molding was available, but there was no sand plant, there was no automation, everything was manual at that point of time. And they visited us, but during my conversation he saw a drawing which was there at my office,
Okay.
where I had posted, and that was a sand plant design that I had done for our foundry.
A drawing of a sand
Drawing
plant.
of a sand plant.
Okay.
And that I had visited a few foundries in Belgaum and in Kolhapur, and I had I had hired a gentleman called Mr. Jai Kumar he was from a very well experienced person from Coimbatore.
Okay.
I hired him for drafting those drawings piece by piece according to our requirement in the foundry. So he had drafted and we had placed it, but we had no guts to go ahead with that project because
Must have been a very big project.
very big project at that time, because our financial condition was no good.
Right.
Because being into all this in that phase where we were doing only domestic and the customers were not paying in time, and all the customers, I don't know, somewhat we had such customers that were not paying
Right.
in time nor giving us the value of the value that we deserved actually.
Correct. Even the prices
even the prices,
mentioned,
yeah,
right.
that's what we had going through almost
Correct.
8 years. We were running in losses. Can you imagine? 8
That's
years.
the worst part actually.
Yes.
Producing a lot of
Yeah.
casting and still making a loss.
Making a loss.
Right.
So that was one more thing hurting me, because we are doing all this and the way the things were running, I did not like, and
Correct.
even the finances were no good.
Correct.
So all that was a formula for disaster. So
Correct.
that was I did not want to invest. So that was lying there.
So he saw the drawing.
He saw the drawing and he said, "What is this?" And I explained him, "This is my dream project and this is what I'm going to do." And what he said was, "Ram, I trust you, I believe you, I like your story. I will place an order for the components right now. You do the way you are doing it right now. I don't mind. But next year, I'd like to see that out there in the foundry." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that."
You said okay.
I said, "Okay," immediately.
Right.
And we started working on that project. He left and we started working on that project.
So Mr. Jai Kumar was called into action.
He was called into action, and we hired a few. And let me tell you, I couldn't afford a turnkey project from any of the sand plant manufacturer
Right.
or anybody else, because it was going. I tried a few quotations, but they were not even close to our
because something
expectations.
as complicated like a sand plant, if you're going to fabricate it with
Yeah.
one person, first of all, who would not speak Marathi, Hindi, that would be another challenge to work with
that's
in
right.
Belgaum over here.
That's right.
So I think you have a lot of guts,
Yes.
or you're really reckless. Like it's either one of them.
It was do or die situation at
Yeah.
that time for us.
And it's like you're some American selling you a dream.
Yeah. So that's
Right.
where he got involved, and we started working on this project, which started off on paper with a budget of 25 lakh rupees, where we had to buy a machine,
Correct.
put a small sand plant around it, and start a molding line. And we also had planned a ARPA 900, which was a slightly bigger, not ARPA 900, it was called a DT7 machine.
Correct.
Which was old machine, reconditioned and with a pattern shuttle, so that I do not need to buy two machines. One machine with pattern shuttle technology.
So I can see even at that time, like
Yeah.
you were technical enough to
Yes.
you'd be thinking of synergies between machines and
Yes.
how and exactly going after what machine you want.
Yes.
I think that's a trait that you.
So
have.
that's what we were chasing those days, and we finally could. But it we fabricated the whole sand plant according to our requirement and the layout that we already had.
Right.
The biggest challenge out there was converting a manual foundry and converting it to a semi-automatic in a running foundry was the biggest challenge.
While the factory was running. Okay.
Because sand plant has an underground trench, there are conveyor systems, there are molding lines you have to install, and that was the biggest challenge that we had faced during that time. So it took us almost 9 to 10 months to construct everything. There was a hell lot of civil work involved.
Correct.
There's a lot of fabrication involved.
Right.
And you know how the trenches are dug, and digging into your existing running foundry. We have seen the worst period of our times. So that was very challenging. We went through that, and with a lot of financial difficulties, because there was no fixed package that you are placing an order. You don't know where that chain reaction is going to end.
Correct.
Because you start up with 25 lakhs, we ended spending 1.6 crore.
1.6 crores from 25 lakhs,
Yes.
which is still not a small sum in 2010.
That's right. And with this kind of financial status.
So what went wrong with that quotation? Why was it?
See, there was no quotation as such. We were just following that, dream, and it was a chain reaction. You have a machine, you need a sand plant. You need a sand plant, you need a conveyor system. Then you need a core shop, core shooter. Everything started reacting, and it went and ended up, we went in through the whole process.
Right.
We overspent, and we even used our working capital to buy machines and stuff like that.
So, and this would have been even over leveraged at that time.
Yeah.
Also?
Yeah.
So what is it? SIDBI, whatever loan
SIDBI,
you can.
yeah, everything. We even tried SIDBI because we were working with other nationalized banks, but SIDBI did help us because they were the only one who could provide loans without a credit guarantee.
Yeah.
That's without any collateral.
Right.
So they were 0.5% expensive than the regular bank, but okay, they at least provided.
Got the job done. Yeah.
We could get that loan and then sustain somehow.
Correct.
That was that bad. So he did that, and the next year he came, the American customer who came to us, saw the plant running out there, and he was convinced. And then he started pouring orders like anything.
Okay.
That was the beginning of our export journey. Actually, that was somewhere in 11-12.
So I think I can imagine. How did you feel like when he came back and he saw like maybe that drawing on the wall, which was now actually on the shop floor? How did he react, and how did you feel at that?
That's what I felt really nice to present him the whole foundry that I had dreamt of, and it was live working out there and producing castings. And that was the biggest risk we had taken at that point of time, because we had financial trouble, and we didn't know how the plant would work, because that was the first plant.
Correct.
It was taken from several foundries. We had taken the bits and pieces and made our own system here. We didn't know how it would work. We just relied on one person who had the knowledge.
Correct.
And went ahead. Right. That's it.
Amazing.
Biggest risk that we had taken at that point.
So going back, would you make the same decision again?
I don't think so, because we have to. That was the situation where it was a do or die situation. I do not want to see that situation again.
Right.
So now I am very much calculative and prepared. So in the future, I would leave it to experts who can build those plants for me.
Correct.
That point of time I couldn't afford them. That's the reason I had to build it myself.
Correct.
And our business is making castings, not building sand plants.
Correct.
So we'd stick to what we are doing,
Right.
you know.
But
So-
going back, if you had not gone for that sand plant, would
Yeah.
would Allied Founders still have the story that it had
No,
today?
it would not survive.
Okay, it would not survive
Not survive.
either. Okay,
That's for sure.
so it was a risk worth taking.
Yeah. We would not survive
Right.
without that decision at that point.
Right.
So everybody supported me. My father, my brother, everybody did not have any doubts in me.
Correct.
And I was going ahead with all my decisions. Nobody, there were some mentalities I had to change within my system.
right.
Yeah, it took some time, but I could eventually do that. I was pretty stubborn, as you know.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you have to be stubborn.
So
at some-
I think at this point now, what is it? 2011, 12. You've proven yourself,
yes,
right? You've taken induction furnace,
Not
BMC,
yet.
CNC,
Not yet.
sand plant.
There was
Not
another
yet.
story after 2012. There was
Okay.
the financial turmoil because we have spent
Okay, the
overspent.
1.6 crores that you had
Yeah,
to repay.
that was not
Right.
it. So 2012 onwards, again there was a big problem where we had to stop the production of all the domestic customers overnight.
Okay.
Overnight, we sent back all the patterns of our domestic customers. Trucks, several trucks filled with patterns. We had to send them back because they were not ready to give the, deserving price for that component,
Correct.
and that's what put us into trouble in the past.
So in spite of having the very high amount of loans and
Yeah.
commissioning a sand plant, you still regretted all the orders that you
Yes,
currently
because
had.
by giving them components, I was doing more losses.
Okay, so it was a
I
loss
had to
making
stop it
business.
somewhere.
Right.
There is something called stop loss in the
Right.
share market.
Right.
That's what I did.
Correct.
I had to stop the losses.
This would have
So-
been a very brutal move.
Yeah, we had to do 2 and 3 working days. We had
Per
to,
week.
per week, because we had no work to do at that point.
So what was happening? Like, how are you dealing with the mental stress and things? Because I think that's something Foundrymen
You,
don't talk
you
about.
will not imagine
lot of
how
times.
much mental stress we have gone through answering the suppliers. We were not paying them in time,
Correct.
and we were in a real bad shape.
Right.
I still remember all the suppliers who have supported us, and we are still working with them today.
Right.
I would never forget that. I really thank my suppliers for being with us at that time.
Correct.
So that's very important.
So
And
this-
we had a goodwill in the market. That's why we sustained. Anybody else, they wouldn't have.
Correct.
Let us give us credit for that long.
Right.
So that's what the situation was. So as we stopped all the domestic business, we had a lot of time to work on the new business, new customers. So we started developing a lot of export components day by day.
Okay.
And then slowly by 2014, we were on stable grounds,
That's how you got
Yeah.
out of the turmoil.
out of the turmoil.
So it was exports that actually saved you.
Yes.
Right.
I was not bothered of, doing a huge turnover or huge tonnage at that point of time. Just getting out of, losses to profitability in your balance sheet was more important to me.
Correct.
So even if it is $10, we were making some profit from that year,
Right.
because
It's better than a loss.
Yeah, better than a
For
loss.
sure. Right.
So by serving the earlier domestic customers, we were always doing a loss. So I said, let's cut it someday. You have to stop it somewhere, because the more you drag it, they get used to it.
Correct.
That's all we saw.
Right.
And since then, we have now more than 300 patents, 100% that were developed after that change. As I told you, all other patents were sent back.
Yeah. Right.
And after that, we have more than 300 patents today. And that were 100% developed after that phase.
And all export.
All export.
All export.
Yeah.
So I have the stats that you gave me. you said 2011-12 you did about 7% exports.
Yes.
Right. 2013-14 it was about 40% exports.
Yes.
It's a massive jump.
Yes.
I think that is when you stopped all your
Stopped
domestic
all,
production. And you said about 16 it was 70 to 80% export only.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And around this time you started a warehouse in Canada. You
Yes.
went into Asemblies. So tell us about that period. This period between.
2014 we were, as I told you, we were quite stable, and that's where I could afford to go make another visit to US.
Yeah, 2014.
After 2006.
Because now you need business.
2006.
You needed some customers.
Yeah, 2006 to 2014, I did not make any trip.
Right.
Because I couldn't afford it.
Correct.
So 2014 was the another trip that I made to US to all my customers. It was a business trip, and I spent almost a month going across several customers that we had acquired by then.
Correct.
So after that visit, I saw a great, leap in our order positions, because that really matters. Your personal touches, your interaction with the customer makes
Right.
sense.
I think a lot of people actually
Yes,
say that. Like,
yes.
go on to the place where you want
Yes.
to and meet your customers.
Yes.
Right.
And we went to all the customers only after shipping samples, not before that.
Okay.
So we shipped them samples. They were happy. Then went, discussed with them, understood more requirements from them, and started getting more orders.
Okay. And,
So
and you were just traveling up
2014,
and down at this period.
2014, 16. After that, I started traveling every year,
Okay.
because I could see the growth in orders with one visit.
Correct.
It changed so drastically. So from then onwards, we were like 2016 or 2015, basically. We got an opportunity from Canada. One of my Canadian customers said, wrote us a mail saying that, could you, we want our suppliers to start a consignment stocking program in Canada and have a warehouse locally in Canada and ship just in time.
Okay. So just in time was becoming a big thing.
Yeah.
Back then. Okay.
So I was the only supplier. We were the only suppliers who said, with a simple reply, yes. That's all I said.
No hesitation.
No hesitation. I knew nothing about
This
And
is a
they-
theme. This is a theme with you.
it. I said yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it really meant. And the person who had sent that mail he replied me and said, how come did you say yes, where all other suppliers were cribbing and they were saying, how is going to bear the cost, how are we going to do this? They had all the negative stories to tell. And why did you were the only supplier who said yes. Why did you say that?
So why did you?
I saw an opportunity getting some business learning, where you get an opportunity to step outside India and start something new. So we had to register a company in Canada it was the simplest registration, I'll tell you.
Okay.
It took me just $50 and 3 days.
That's all.
To get my business number in Canada.
3 days and
3
$50.
days and $50.
That's all. And what about a partner? Did you
No
have
partner.
To have...
No partner. I was in a non-resident importer status, NRI. So I ship my components, import my own goods, store it in a warehouse, and ship it to the customer.
Okay.
That was the way it works. So I studied the whole thing. It took me more than 6 to 8 months. There was one gentleman who helped me do that in that company. And we went through that very smoothly. We had started doing this 1 year before we started the actual consignment.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of other paperwork, even from the Indian side, to be registered there.
Right.
To open a bank account outside India, you have to have an account there, local account, where they would pay you in that
Correct.
local bank account, and then we pay ourselves from there.
Right.
So that was another learning curve, from this opportunity.
This was
So,
2014.
2015. 15 we registered.
Right.
And 16 we started operations actually. That was a Canadian warehouse where right now we have completed 10 years now.
Yeah.
So 10 years
25.
of experience.
Correct.
We're having a overseas warehouse and maintaining. It is simple. We don't own that place. It is rented, and the rent is based on your crates. So it is demand-based tariff. Again, no crates, no tariff. So that's how it works. So, and the owner takes care of all your shipments, inboard, outboard, everything.
They
So
do the
you don't have
documentation and
any
everything.
person there.
Okay.
If you want to keep a person there, you have to pay more than my salary.
Correct.
So
Right.
it doesn't work out at that point.
Right.
So that's how it all began. And today we have more than 350 to 400 tons lying there all the time. And it worked out as a boon in disguise during COVID. We were closed down for 2 months, and my shipments were still going out of the warehouse, and we were making sales.
You must have got a lot of awards for that.
Not really. So that was one advantage.
Right.
So
So
we could see. So that
tell
was an
us-
opportunity. Nobody else saw an opportunity.
Right. But I can't understand, like, why would people say no? Because if it's assured business, you're making sure your customer is depending on you. It would have been
I really don't know. I saw an opportunity at that point.
right.
I had that hunger to reach there. I said, yes, that's it. And of course, that whole process would teach me. They were more worried about how to run that show, who would pay for it. Nothing comes free. Any services that you provide, you'll get paid for it.
Correct.
Why worry?
Right.
So that's it. So that's where we are right now. We
Right.
are running that, and we re-export from Canada to USA from that
As a base.
location because
Yeah.
it is on the border, Toronto. So we ship to Buffalo in USA, and the return filing is done by me. It is so simple. I file the GST HST returns every year. Few questions asked, you answer them online, your returns are filed. It is so simple.
So India has a lot of catching up to do.
So
That's great.
that's so simple. We have no consultants for that. We do it ourselves from the day one. This is the 10th year we have filed returns of the GST HST there. And
Right.
there is also refunds. The day you file, your check leaves from Canada and reaches here
Okay.
within a month. It takes 1 month for the check to reach here.
Not for the
Then
check to
we-
leave, but to reach here.
To reach
Yeah.
here.
In India, I think it takes a year
So-
for it to leave.
All that
Right.
is so simple.
So I also wanted to touch upon assemblies because this is something also you started in 2016.
Yeah,
you said.
2016 we got
Right.
an opportunity
Right.
from two major customers, one from Canada, one from US. They wanted us to build their assemblies here by developing all the child parts, and they wanted to move from China basically, and they asked us to quote. We started quoting actually in 2014, but in 2014 they said we are more expensive, 10 to 12% more expensive than China. And I don't know what happened after 2014 that it started shifting, that our customer itself said we were like 7 to 8% cheaper than China after 2014,
Okay.
because maybe the labor cost went high at that time. So that's how we got the assemblies converted here, and we are doing 50% assemblies today's date of our total turnover.
50% assemblies.
Assemblies, yeah.
Wow. So it was a really big move again.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So that was a good value addition, and most of the problems are detected here if you are doing an assembly.
Correct.
If you are shipping just a part, you never know what might go wrong when you
On
assemble.
the assembly side, right?
So assembly, if you are doing the assembly and testing here, you can have a peaceful sleep.
It's also a very good value proposition
Yeah,
for the
of
customer
course.
at
Yeah.
the end. So you were also taking advantage of your warehouse then, I would assume, at
Yeah,
the same time.
Yeah.
So these are all like stacking wins
Yes.
all together, right? The warehouse,
warehouse,
and
the
assemblies.
assemblies and
Right.
everything. So we developed the assembly lines the way the customer wants. We did develop all the type of testing in-house.
Correct.
painting, all the child parts, rubber parts, stainless steel parts, all the parts we put together, all made in India.
Right.
And we could offer them a full assembly, almost 14 plus 10 assemblies initially we had developed. Now we have added more,
Correct.
but it was, again, we learnt a lot in that phase,
Right.
and we have set up our plant unit based on those assemblies, right?
Right. So I want to, I mean, I'm sure everybody has this question.
Hmm.
Give us some pros and cons of exporting.
Yes, there are a lot of pros, but as you can say, I would like to highlight the cons first, because
And by the way, guys, 100% of his turnover today is export.
yes,
So that's a complete shift from domestic to
Yes.
complete 100%
Yes.
export. Yeah.
so we also do 4 to 5% domestic, but those are our clients who have Indian locations as well, because we are strategic suppliers.
It's the same
to them.
export customer.
So
but-
same customer, same component that I'm shipping to Canada and US, I have to ship to India as well.
Okay.
So that 4 to 5% is still there.
Right.
But of course, you can consider it is as a
100%.
deemed export or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's get back to the pros and cons. The cons are, until unless you do not have a mindset designed for exports, you'll be in trouble.
Right. Like you were with the oil
Yeah.
oil issue.
Everything, the mindset of people, the chalta hai attitude doesn't work here.
Correct.
So that is one thing you have to change, and then the infrastructure can be changed within no time. But changing the mentality of people around you to have that export ecosystem, it is very important. That is one con you have to address first before starting even thinking about export. And then pros you will come to know once you get there.
He's
don't-
not giving us the pros.
So you have to
Alright.
address the cons first.
Right.
So pros, as I said, you will come to know.
Right. I don't think most export customers are like your first South African guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think the prices you can. Do you want to increase a little bit?
That is
was
one
nice.
off.
Yeah.
That's just
that,
one off.
That never happened again. Right?
No.
That
Maybe,
was
maybe
really
that
cool.
was a starter kit.
Yeah. I think everybody gets like these starter wins or
Yeah.
like a lucky break.
Yeah.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck.
So
That's
no pros. You
Yeah.
don't want to mention any pros.
pros are that, as you say, your work environment changes.
Right.
You start thinking like your customers.
Right.
You change your infrastructure based on that. There are a lot of perks from the government, like the drawbacks, duty drawbacks, the RODTP scheme and all that,
Correct.
which and even the low cost low interest rates for exporters.
Okay.
That also, but right now it doesn't work anymore. There used to be, we used a lot of foreign currency term loan,
Okay.
where we could take dollar loans at the rate of somewhere around 3 to 3.5% annual rate of interest, but you had to pay the EMIs in US dollars. Those were all the good things, you know.
Correct.
There are several other things, because
Right.
you get your margins better than the domestic,
And payment.
and payment in time. I never
Right.
have to call any of my customer follow up for payments.
It's more like a
anymore.
partnership, I would assume.
Yes, because as long as your deliveries are in time and your quality is good, you have no problems with payments. That is the best part
Correct.
being into export. But
Right.
as I told you, this mindset is the con which you have to keep a track of all the time. It is all about OTD, on time deliveries, and quality. These are the two things you have to maintain, and of course the price being competitive. Because first thing people ask me, if you are exporting, how much markup I have to add? That is the wrong question actually. Why do you need to add a markup? Where if I want to sell the component, same thing to India, only the packaging changes, nothing else changes. That is the wrong perspective everybody has. That
Right.
shall I add 20% extra? because
Right.
it is export. Why should I?
Right. The whole objective
because
of
the quality that I'm building in my company today is either for India or for export. It is the same. I cannot have two different qualities,
right.
isn't it?
Right.
And why do you need to add that 20%?
This is also something that a previous guest said,
Yes, yes.
where you start to differentiate and everything.
Yes.
That's where you get
No,
stuck
no,
because
no.
you cannot build a system around.
Because your ecosystem is for the world, not just for India or not just for export. You have to design in such a way. Only the packaging and the transport cost changes, nothing else.
Correct.
You should try to understand. People come and ask me, how much extra margin should I apply for export? I have no answer for that.
All right. I want to touch now on, since we're talking about exports, tariffs and CBAM, because these are two things going around.
So, tariff, as of now, we are also confused at the moment because
that's not reassuring. I mean, our viewers are pretty. They were expecting
let me tell you one thing. For casting and foundry industry, I don't think we are worried about tariff, because even if there is a tariff of 100%, there is no other country other than in China and India to supply components. Anything below, even if it is 100% tariff is applied, do you think Americans or the Europeans or any other country in the Western world would produce their own components? Impossible.
Yeah.
Because of their costs. So they have to come to low cost countries like India, China, Vietnam, and we have an edge over. We have an advantage with China plus one now. That is our big business at the moment. There is no additional business coming all over around the world at the moment, but the shift from China is the biggest business for India at the moment. So that is one thing. And regarding CBAM, what you have said, that is also very tricky. Very less discussions have happened over that. But recently we have come across a few in the Suricon. We have also heard about it.
Right.
We have discussed a few things, but we have already done our investments in green power and green energy, where it may help us in future.
Correct.
We don't know what the benefits are, but right now we have started investing in green power, and on today's date we are running 80% on green power.
80%.
Yes.
And that includes the induction
includes
furnace,
the foundry and the machine shops.
foundry and machine shop.
Both.
80% on
80%.
power.
And very soon we would be running 100%, because the rest of the power also we would be buying from other green generators like the wind farms and the solar farms.
Okay.
From private.
So how did you manage to achieve this metric?
We invested our own. We already have a rooftop here in this plant. Entire solar,
right.
Around 125 kVA. That was installed in 2020, and we saw the benefits. We got the returns, and after that we invested in solar plant in Bijapur. I think even Anand has done it.
Yeah,
Anand,
I think I saw
yes,
you and
yeah.
his photo on LinkedIn.
Yes.
You guys are pretty active.
Yeah. So
Right.
we discuss a lot. We both discuss a lot,
Right.
and Anand has been quite helpful.
In fact, he didn't talk about it on his show, but thank you for. I think you all guys are exchanged.
That's
nice.
That's we invested in 1 megawatt solar project in Bijapur, and that is one we started that in October 2024.
Correct.
So we have that is also showing good returns as of now. Even during the monsoon, it is doing around 3,500 to 4,000 units every day. It is creating, making.
And you get
units.
everything on your phone.
Yes.
You're tracking
Yes.
it all.
Yes.
Right. That's great. So you're prepared for CBAM.
This is what we are prepared, but it is still not known what's going to happen. Yeah.
That's great. So I think it would be a disservice to everybody watching if I did not ask you what your key strength is, and I pretty much know what it is. So every time I visit you, I see a new shed being made.
Yes.
right? And he really expands very quickly.
Yeah.
So what is your decision making framework to expansion? Like, how do you approach an expansion? I want to know your thought process.
Previously, we used to dream about machines, dream about,
Sand plants.
a sand plant. I
Sand
want
plants.
a machine. I want a HMC. I want a VMC. I used to dream, and then go running behind all the quotations, the brochures, and then go to bankers for loans
finance,
and
right.
stuff, finance and all that. But now we are mostly data driven because we collect a lot of data. We know our utilization of the machine, and
Okay.
we also ask our team what is the demand of which machine in our system, and we are having IoT systems installed on all the CNC machines that we have in this unit, which give us online data on our management dashboard, showing us what is the efficiency, what is the utilization of the machine. For example, when would you buy another machine? If your utilization is beyond 80%. Otherwise,
Okay.
why would you invest in another machine?
Correct.
You have to run the machine for at least beyond 80%, considering 20% for some maintenance and some unforeseen breakdowns or something.
Correct.
So that's the machines are talking to us these days. If it is being used for 60 or for say 80% beyond 6 months, it is high time to order another machine. That's how we keep expanding.
Right. And this is capacity for 3 shifts.
Yeah,
altogether.
3 shifts.
Okay.
Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense, right? You're wasting the capital.
Yeah,
asset.
wasting the capital.
Right.
So we have to be
That's an interesting
getting data,
point.
and we are data driven. As I also told you about my visit to CII,
Germany, right.
on advanced manufacturing.
Correct.
After I returned, I was only thinking, just like Anand said in his interview, technology, technology, technology. I say data, data, and data. We have to collect data, analyze that data, and data will tell you what to do in today's day. So that's where we saw a lot of data usage in the form of Industry 4.0 and IoT, or so even some we could see some AI being used.
Okay.
Because we are not even touching AI at the moment, right?
Right.
So we could see all those advanced tools in Germany during our visit. So that is what drives us now. We cannot drive based on our dreams or your mood swings. Don't run anymore. So it is always, you have to rely on your data, which is taken from all the probes around your facility.
Correct.
Yeah.
So last question before we go to our 3 bonus questions.
Yeah.
You're setting up a new plant.
Yes.
Which we've not touched upon, and it's going to be massive.
Yes.
It's a 5x expansion.
Yes.
Right. So tell us about this dream or data-driven project that you have currently working.
So we have been living with Joel squeeze and floor molding and all. It's high time we have to go to the next level, or else, as we did earlier, we would be left far behind until we do not get used to the new technologies. And the new technology we have to because that's what the Western world is looking for right now.
Correct.
Automation. The more manual it is, there are more challenges in manufacturing. So we have to get there, and that's what we even explored a lot of other process like lost foam, but did not work out because there was a lot of dependency on Chinese machines, Chinese raw material and all that. So that was very difficult. So we did not want to go in for that. And again, you are depending on skilled labor in that case.
Right.
Because every tree has to be manually
stuck by hand
and all that. There was a lot of skill involved. So
correct.
That also did not work out. I did work on that project as well. We had a project report set up during COVID. We had nothing to do, 2 months.
So again, it was data driving your decisions.
Driving decisions.
Right.
So we quit that plan, and now we are focusing again on a high pressure line. I visited a few foundries in Italy in October and November, to see the practical use of non-automotive foundries with multiple pattern changes in a day on a high pressure line.
Okay.
Because I had a mental block earlier saying that high pressure line is only for automotive high volume production. Not anymore. Because I could see 8 to 10 pattern changes in a day.
Okay, that's
even
pretty
on a
much
high pressure line.
Right.
And they were controlled. I am not looking at 150 molds per hour. I am looking at some line which is like 50 to 60 molds, which is good enough for our batch production. I would consider our production batch production because compared to the automotive, we are batching foundry. So that's what makes sense these days. 10 years ago, it was too early. 10 years later, it would be too late. Now is the time. So we were now working on this project last 6 months to get a right layout, because layout is pretty important, as we have gone through.
Is Mr. Jai Kumar back in
action? No, not at
Some
all.
other guy, but
no, not at all. We have left it to professionals this time.
Okay.
And we are not yet finalized, but we are about to finalize.
It's in the process.
And we took some time going through several foundries in Italy, as well as Kolhapur region, where the bigger foundries are there, fully automated. So this would be a fully automated molding line with auto pour system, and only right from up to melting it is manual. Again, all the process until fettling would be automated.
Okay. Yeah. And you also said 1500 tons.
It would be a capacity of 1500 tons. That's the minimum available capacity with that machine. So we had to take it. So there was nothing lower than that. So either we run 1 shift, 2 shift, or 3 shift. It depends on the. So if you run 1 shift, it is 1500. 2 shift makes 1000. 3 shift makes 1500. So 1500 tons would be the capacity, considering our standard bunch weights of all the average that we see right now. And we will be starting the work very soon, and we'd like to complete that within 1.5 to 2 years time.
So I'll be at the inauguration.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be there, and probably we'll have like a repeat episode.
Yeah.
Actually, this will be your first greenfield project that you're setting up also, right? So you'll have another story.
Yeah, another story.
Right.
And new technology again.
Correct.
Because auto pour is new to us.
Correct.
High pressure line is new to us. We are used to listening to the jolting.
Yes. Very familiar sound.
A familiar sound. We are going to miss that for some time.
Correct.
And of course, there will be a lot of changes in fettling and everything.
Correct. That's great.
So
where will Allied be in 2 to 5 years? I think pretty much.
I really don't know, but our target is to achieve at least 50% of the new foundry capacity with machining and assemblies. That is a great task to achieve. So let's see how it goes, and we are looking forward for a lot of other inquiries. We are as I've seen a lot of growth in inquiries after 2025 February.
Okay.
Huge demand is being seen, but
a
lot of them being converted to orders as well by now. So
by the way, 2005 you started a website.
Yeah.
Today this is the way to be found.
Yeah.
So you're again he's adopting new technology in digital marketing, right? And he's already leading the game with it. So I don't doubt about that 750 or 50% capacity getting full.
So our challenge again is we are non-automotive. We have to have a big customer base.
Correct.
Multiple customer base and
to
niche
fill up
products,
that capacity.
Niche components. That's what we are targeting most of the time. Yeah.
Right. So anyway, good luck to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
We're not done yet because I have 3 bonus questions apart from work, right? Which I think the audience would really benefit. Especially there are a lot of Foundrymen watching this. Work-life balance, right? Something that people throw around today. What do you feel about it? Because I asked you in the car the other day when we were going back. You said you always took time away for vacations, and,
Of course
and you
I
have
do.
a few hobbies.
Yes.
So talk about that side.
Hobbies as such, I love traveling, first thing. And being in export business allows me to travel several countries.
Right.
That's one good part being in export.
So like you take a few days off
Yes.
between customers?
Yes.
Okay.
Because when you travel to US, for example, you generally try to meet them in Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay.
Weekends they would not like to meet, and the remaining weekends you have all the time to explore.
Correct.
That's one more advantage being into export. So you go places.
Right.
Second thing is with family. We also I like driving. Small road trips around here, around our region here.
Right.
That's our one more thing we.
But you always make time for these
Yes,
things.
of course.
Okay.
We have to balance that.
Right.
And plus, I have a hobby of I'm a wildlife photographer as well.
Can we show some pictures?
I would.
I'm
I
going
would
to
say-
get some pictures
get
from
you
you.
some pictures. Yeah. So whenever I find time, I go across around Belgaum and even around India, all over India. I have
Right.
traveled for wildlife, whether it is birds or mammals or whatever.
That's amazing.
So that's one thing. I also ride motorcycles. That's another hobby.
Okay.
So
They're getting
have
more and more dangerous. Wildlife and motorcycles.
so I have a bunch of crazy friends. I ride
Right.
with them.
Right. Crazy fans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's it.
So, what is your most important message to Foundrymen?
See, knowing your business technically and commercially is very important. The biggest mistake I did in the first 5 years of my life, I mean, of my career,
Of career. Yeah.
I did not get into the finances. I just looked at the technical aspect.
Okay.
That does no good for a businessman. You will be a technocrat, but not a businessman,
Correct.
isn't it?
Is it possible to
So-
go the other way around? Only the finances and not much technical?
Both are important, or else people will take you for a ride.
Right.
If you don't know what technically wrong you are doing.
Correct.
So you need to balance both. That is very much important. Knowing your numbers is very important. Just don't quote because somebody else has quoted that price. Until you don't satisfy yourself with your costing, do not offer that costing to anybody and stick to it. That's the only thing I would say, because I have learned it the hard way, and I have been following that since 2012, since I moved on to all the new customers. The earlier was all the prices that were forced upon us. I've stopped doing that in 2012.
Correct.
I don't want any other foundryman to do that again. That's the biggest message I can
Yeah,
pass on
I
to
think
the
that's a
foundry.
very valuable
Yeah,
and a good
yeah,
message, and
yeah.
coming from someone who has lived through all those troubles as you
Yes,
just heard.
yes.
So, is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there anything we
No,
missed out?
that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I think there was a little bit of convincing. I've been asking you for a couple of
Yes,
months, but I'm really
yes.
happy that he finally agreed.
Yeah.
And especially shared his message with the entire community.
Yeah.
Because I think when people come and share, that's how the entire community benefits. So thank you, Ram.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
has been really
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
And we tried to film this 3-4 days back.
Yes.
But he had such a bad cough and a
cough.
throat.
Yeah.
So we had to postpone it. And I don't think I never heard you coughing this entire interview.
No, not
Unless
at all.
you've been holding it in. Yeah. So anyway, he hasn't actually.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
doing this again.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Ram.
bye-bye.
Thank you.